All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and Pickle Crew Show with a little 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check out Pig and a Pickle. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. And this video is brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. Mancini's is a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. They offer a 120-night guarantee with a range of brands and price points. I'm loving my Mancini's bed. With Mancini's, you get free next-day delivery. Click the link below or go to sleepworld.com. Find a bed that works for you, whether shopping online or visiting in-store. Use the code KRUG10, and you'll get 10% off. Again, that's KRUG10, K-R-U-E-G 10, to get 10% off in-store or online at sleepworld.com. All right, let's talk a little bit about the 49ers. Niners lose Thursday night. They're all but assuredly going to miss the playoffs in a year where they were the Super Bowl favorite, and it makes a lot of uncertainty in their future, kind of the theme of their franchise going forward. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty about who's coming back, who's not coming back, but it sounds like the 49ers are going to bring back Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. According to Diana Rossini, she says they're firmly committed to Brock Purdy as their long-term quarterback. I've been told the 49ers are still planning to negotiate a multi-year contract extension with Purdy this offseason, backing up the message they've consistently sent, which is Purdy is our guy. So despite this being the 49ers' worst season since 2020, Shanahan, who's in his 8th season, isn't going anywhere. The mutual commitment between the coach and the franchise remains. Ignore all the rumors. The organization fully believes in Shanahan's ability to lead the team going forward, even after this rough year. Call it a Super Bowl runner-up, hangover, or just a down season, but the 49ers are sticking to their plan, betting on Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan and hoping the skies clear soon. So you're going to hear an awful lot, you probably already have, about how the 49ers need to dump Kyle Shanahan. They need to move on from Brock Purdy. Kyle's not the guy. Purdy's not the guy. Well, Diana Rossini, basically saying that if you're in that camp, you're not going to be too happy because Brock ain't going anywhere and Kyle's not going anywhere. Now, the 49ers have been enormously successful under Kyle Shanahan. I mean, and it's definitely there's a need, I think, to see Kyle evolve. But there's a big difference between, hey, we need Kyle to evolve and, fire Kyle Shanahan. Even this year, without CMC, with Ayuk as just a shadow of him former self, Debo is no longer the player that he was. The Niners still were a top-tier offensive team. Now, they couldn't do anything offensively against the Rams on Thursday night, and they definitely need more personnel. They need a better offensive line. They need more speed at wide receiver. They need another running back or two. They've got to get better play from Brock. They need better play calling from Kyle. The whole thing needs to be better. They need more than one tight end on their roster. So to me, it's about personnel. They badly need more personnel. Now, Mike Silver also had some quotes from his article today about Mooney Ward. And Mooney said there's been a dark cloud over us all season. He said the veteran, he said this will be a good offseason for this team to regroup, refocus, and try to rekindle the spark. He said, I don't know if I'm going to be back. And I would say almost assuredly Mooney will not be back. But I know this team is still going to be great, Mooney said, with or without me. And then Mooney also weighed in on Devondre Campbell. And he's been very outspoken on Campbell. He said he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play today. That was his plan. He had his mind made up. I mean, it's crazy. He's not a better player than Dre Greenlaw. You saw that today. Greenlaw is the engine to our defense, the guy who starts everything for us. But you could see Campbell's decision not to play for a while. And this just kind of coincides with what I've been saying for the last month or so, which is that they had to get off of Campbell because Campbell was not a team guy. Campbell was about himself. He wasn't a team guy in Green Bay, which is why Green Bay got rid of him. And he had lost more than a step and didn't have that agility, and it was obvious early on. And yet the 49ers, because of their stubbornness, stayed with Campbell all year and kept touting him as good when Pro Football Focus was showing repeatedly that he wasn't good. And if you watched the All 22, you saw Kyler Murray run right by him. You saw DK Metcalf get isolated on him on the first play of the game and toasted him for a big play. You saw his lack of agility on the Geno Smith touchdown run, where he had a 10-yard head start on Geno and yet didn't get a finger on Geno. Campbell has lost all of his agility, all of his quickness, all of his lateral movement ability. It's all gone. And he was replacing Dre Greenlaw. And it's embarrassing that the 49ers even thought that was possible. They should have gone with a smaller, faster player, and they didn't. They wanted a big physical guy. But that's yesteryear. It's a movement game now. You need speed. And Dre Greenlaw is an impactful player, and you replaced him with a subpar player. So you went from having the best linebacking core in the game 2 years ago with Azeez and Warner and Greenlaw to having arguably one of the worst linebacking cores in the second half of the year when you had a beat up Fred Warner and Campbell and Winters running around out there. Winters is fast, but he doesn't take on blocks, and he's a young player, still makes mistakes. They don't trust Jalen Graham, though they probably should. And they had tons of belief in Campbell, and yet Campbell was just horrible. I mean, he made a big play a couple weeks ago in the Buffalo game, big hit. You're like, oh, wow. And I was watching the game with somebody who's like, whoa, look at Campbell. Krug, I thought you said he couldn't play. Look at that hit. I'm like, do you have any idea what you're even talking about? It's 3rd and 4, and the running back ran for 6 yards. And when he got to the 6-yard mark, he got smoked by Devondre Campbell. So what? That's 6 yards down the field on 3rd and 4. That's the kind of tackle. Those were the kinds of tackles that Devondre Campbell was making for the 49ers. Meaningless downfield tackles. I mean, his stats are the most bogus, fraudulent stats I think I've ever seen. The days where he had big tackle totals, he wasn't good. He was never highly rated by PFF for the most part. And it was just a bad decision to go with him. So they should have played Jalen Graham. They should have just gone with younger, faster guys. Instead, they had to have the veteran. And then when he didn't play well, they couldn't. They didn't know what to do. The 12 men on the field penalties. What I was told is that Campbell, they made a substitution pattern, and they wanted Campbell to come off, and he wouldn't come off. So how did they have back-to-backs of 12 men on the field penalties? Devondre Campbell. So I said it a month ago. I said Devondre Campbell is about Devondre Campbell, and when the Niners need to take him off the field, he's going to give them a bunch of grief, and he's going to go south on them, and they're just going to be forced to cut him because he won't be able to handle coming off the bench because he's too proud and he's too about himself. Sure enough. And it's just a personality type, and I recognized it a month ago. And so good riddance. And I think he'll never play another down in the NFL. Once you quit, unless you're really a talented player that the league can't do without, you're done. And he quit, and everybody saw it, so he's done. Anyway, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Mancini's for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.